Have you ever pushed yourself up from your favorite armchair and felt a flicker of uncertainty in your knees? Just a hint of a wobble? Or found yourself pausing halfway up a flight of stairs, wondering when they got so steep? What if I were to tell you that the real culprit might not be your age, but something hiding in plain sight within your daily vitamin regimen? That's right, the very capsule you swallow for your health could be insidiously sapping the power from your legs, compromising your stability, and gradually dismantling your self-sufficiency. And it's not a single rogue nutrient. We're talking about 5 widely used, highly praised supplements that are all too simple to get wrong. My purpose today isn't to frighten you. It's to arm you with knowledge. My goal is to help you protect yourself. Because when your legs start to fail, your personal liberty begins to fade with them. So, let's dive into the truth. With clarity, composure, and one deliberate step at a time. It all begins with a subtle change, one that often goes unnoticed. As we get older, maintaining our strength, mobility, and independence becomes less about good fortune and more about the choices we make every single day. And still, despite the best of intentions, taking vitamins, eating right, heeding advice, many older men unintentionally undermine the very vitality they seek to preserve. How? The supplement market frequently pushes a universal fix for a problem that demands balance, precision, and a personal touch. A man's body past the age of 60 simply doesn't handle nutrients the way it did at 30, and what was once beneficial can become detrimental. In this breakdown, we will expose how 5 ordinary vitamins, trusted by countless individuals, can backfire when taken without proper understanding. They can trigger muscle stiffness, agonizing cramps, nerve damage, and, in some scenarios, a permanent loss of leg strength. More importantly, you will discover how to correct your course, shield your legs, properly nourish your body, and continue to walk with confidence deep into your 80s and 90s. Let's start with one of the most celebrated and yet profoundly misunderstood nutrients in senior wellness, vitamin D. The sunshine vitamin, as it's known, is practically a celebrity. You've no doubt heard it extolled on news programs, in physicians' offices, and seen its name emblazoned on bottle after bottle in the pharmacy. Great for bones, vital for immunity, and must-have for aging gracefully. While all of that holds true, it's a dangerously incomplete picture. The reality most people don't grasp is that vitamin D can become an adversary, particularly for a man over 60, if it isn't taken with the correct balance of other key nutrients. This very imbalance could be one of the secret reasons your legs are feeling weaker, more rigid, or more painful than they ought to. Vitamin D's primary role is to facilitate your body's absorption of calcium, an element essential for your bones and muscles. But this process can go terribly awry if your body lacks 2 crucial allies, vitamin K2 and magnesium. Here's what unfolds without their support. The calcium that vitamin D ushers into your system is left adrift with no direction. Instead of being guided to your bones, it can settle in your arteries, your joints, or your soft tissues, your muscles included. This is the point when stiffness begins to creep in. This is when your circulation starts to lag. This is when pain and cramping begin to make their presence known. First as a whisper, then as a roar. Scientific research validates this. A landmark paper in the International Journal of Nutritional Science established that excessive vitamin D, without adequate K2 and magnesium, correlated with arterial calcification. That's a technical term for the hardening of your blood vessels and tissues in places they should remain pliable. This process constricts blood flow and, over time, starves your leg muscles of what they need to thrive. What's more frightening is that many seniors consume more than 4,000 IU of vitamin D each day, oblivious to the danger. Though that dosage is considered technically safe, it can swiftly turn toxic if the body isn't properly equipped to manage it, resulting in fatigue, weakness, and even severe nerve and muscle dysfunction. So, what's the right way to do it? According to experts in longevity and nutrition, the ideal ratio is as follows. For every 1,000 IU of vitamin D3 you take, you need at least 10 micrograms of vitamin K2. If your daily dose is 5,000 IU, you require 50 micrograms of K2. And you cannot forget magnesium, preferably sourced from food or a gentle, highly absorbable supplement such as magnesium glycinate. Without this essential trio working in harmony, your healthy habit of taking vitamin D could be quietly dismantling your legs and your freedom. And the story doesn't end with vitamin D. Let's now examine another common nutrient that has been celebrated as vital for strong bones but could be silently working against your ability to move. It's time to talk about calcium. For years, calcium has been the undisputed champion of bone integrity. You've probably been advised, perhaps for decades, to take calcium supplements to ward off fractures, maintain good posture, and keep your skeleton robust. But here's the critical detail that is almost never mentioned. Calcium, when consumed incorrectly, can actually make your legs weaker and elevate your risk of a fall. It seems counterintuitive, I know. But the reality is that calcium doesn't operate in a vacuum. It doesn't just drift through your system and miraculously embed itself in your bones. It requires explicit instructions. And those instructions are only given when calcium collaborates with vitamin D, K2, and magnesium. When calcium floods your bloodstream without these vital co-nutrients, it can deposit itself in the wrong locations, such as your muscles, arteries, and joints. Over time, this can lead to the very problems you were trying to prevent. You get rigidity, cramps, compromised circulation, and, yes, agonizing leg pain. A notable 2010 study published in the European Health Review uncovered a rather disturbing fact. Seniors who took calcium supplements without vitamin D had a significantly higher risk of heart attacks. Another piece of research from the Gerontology Research Quarterly concluded that high-dose calcium supplements offered no significant reduction in fracture risk, but were instead associated with muscle weakness and decreased mobility. And what does this mean for your leg strength? When your muscles are tight and your circulation is restricted, even basic movements like getting out of bed or stepping down from a curb become treacherous. This isn't just a hypothesis. These are real-world consequences that impact the lives of older men every single day. So, what is the superior approach? Source your calcium from your diet. Mother Nature has a smarter system. When you consume calcium-rich foods such as dark leafy greens, almonds, sardines, sesame seeds, tofu, and bok choy, you are not just ingesting calcium. You are also getting a synergistic blend of vitamins, enzymes, and minerals that help your body absorb it safely and direct it where it needs to go. Calcium from food is released into the bloodstream gradually. It's a gentle process. It doesn't cause sudden spikes that dump minerals where they don't belong. This is why food-derived calcium almost never leads to stiffness or dangerous buildup. If, and only if, your doctor insists on a supplement, you must ensure it contains the cofactors we've discussed: D3, K2, and magnesium. If not, the very thing meant to fortify your bones might be slowly eroding your mobility. Now, let's explore a vitamin you likely assumed was entirely safe, even indispensable. It's one of the very first nutrients we learn about as kids. But for older men, an excess of it could be quietly degrading the health of your muscles and bones. Let's have a frank discussion about vitamin A. Vitamin A, it's the nutrient we've relied on since we were boys, praised for its contributions to eyesight, immunity, and healthy skin. And while all that is accurate, there's another side to vitamin A that is seldom discussed, especially in the context of older adults. The truth that most seniors are unaware of is that vitamin A can steadily accumulate in your body over the years, reaching toxic levels that actually damage your bones, weaken your muscles, and elevate your risk of fractures. And the most shocking part? This doesn't come from a single massive overdose. It's a gradual process, fueled by everyday multivitamins, bone health formulas, immune support blends, and even fortified foods. You see, vitamin A is a nutrient that dissolves in fat, unlike vitamin C or the B vitamins, which your body flushes out if they're not needed. Vitamin A lingers. It gets stored in your liver and fatty tissues, progressively building up if you are consistently consuming more than your body can use. And a great many people are, particularly older men who rely on multiple supplements. You might take a multivitamin in the morning, a bone supplement with lunch, and an immune booster before bed, never suspecting that they all contain overlapping amounts of vitamin A. The total adds up alarmingly fast. The safe upper limit for adults is 3,000 micrograms or 10,000 IU per day, but countless people are unknowingly surpassing that limit just from their daily pill routine. So, what happens when vitamin A accumulates? Research clearly indicates it can result in a loss of bone mineral density, an increased danger of hip fractures, and significant muscular fatigue. You might begin to experience joint pain that seems to have no clear cause, or notice your legs feel more feeble than they did before. These are often dismissed as mere symptoms of aging or arthritis, but the true source of the problem could be sitting right there in your medicine cabinet. A highly regarded review in the Annals of Internal Medicine highlighted that a high intake of preformed vitamin A, the form found in the majority of supplements, is strongly correlated with bone degradation and diminished mobility. Over time, this impacts your posture, your gait, and, crucially, your confidence to navigate the world around you. It's important to know that vitamin A comes in two forms, preformed and beta-carotene. The preformed variety is typically what's used in supplements and is found in animal-based foods. Beta-carotene, conversely, is derived from plants and is converted into vitamin A by your body only on an as-needed basis, which makes it a much safer and gentler choice for most individuals. However, even with beta-carotene, moderation is vital. Many multivitamins include it in high doses, and if you are taking several products containing it, you could still push your levels beyond what is safe. The solution is vigilance, reading labels, keeping track of your total daily consumption, and only supplementing when it's absolutely necessary. If you're dealing with unexplained fatigue, stiffness in your legs, or problems with your balance, and you take multiple supplements, it may be time to scrutinize your vitamin A intake. The goal isn't to eliminate it entirely. It's about understanding how much your body genuinely requires and knowing precisely where you're getting it from. Next, we'll expose another vitamin that has long been lauded for its heart protective and anti-aging properties. But if used incorrectly, it may be gradually eroding your strength, your vitality, and your ability to move. Let's take a hard look at the truth behind vitamin E. Vitamin E is often portrayed as a knight in shining armor. For decades, it has been acclaimed for its antioxidant strength, its ability to protect the heart, and its power to slow the advance of aging. You will find it in multivitamins, skincare products, and an endless array of supplements promising a new lease on life. But here's a fact few people know. Not all vitamin E is created equal, and an excess of the wrong kind can silently inflict harm on your legs, your nerves, and your independence. The problem begins with the manufacturing process of vitamin E. The majority of affordable supplements contain a synthetic version known as DL-alpha-tocopherol. While that name might seem innocuous on the label, this form is processed very differently from its natural counterpart, and your body can tell the difference. Synthetic vitamin E is not absorbed as efficiently, it doesn't protect your cells as effectively, and in larger doses, it can accumulate and interfere with the proper function of your muscles and nerves. More troubling still, studies have demonstrated that high doses of vitamin E, particularly the synthetic varieties, can cause muscle weakness, fatigue, and issues with coordination, especially in older men. These are not merely fleeting side effects. They can creep up on you over months or even years, leading to balance issues, difficulty walking, and a significantly increased risk of falls. But even natural vitamin E is not automatically without risk. Like vitamin A, it is fat-soluble. This means your body doesn't simply excrete the excess, it stores it. If you're consuming high-dose vitamin E every day, or combining several supplements without realizing it, you could be taking in far more than your body needs. And when that occurs, things start to go haywire. High levels of vitamin E can interfere with vitamin K, which your body relies on for proper blood clotting and muscle function. It can also thin the blood excessively, raising the risk of bruising, dizziness, and, in some instances, nerve dysfunction that first manifests in the legs and feet. One major study even discovered that vitamin E supplements at doses exceeding 400 IU per day were linked to a higher overall risk of death in older adults. That figure might sound shocking, but it's not meant to be a scare tactic. It's a wake-up call about how something intended to help can have devastating consequences when taken without careful consideration. So, what is the more prudent path forward? The most potent and protective form of vitamin E isn't tocopherols at all. It's a group of compounds called tocotrienols. These are naturally found in foods like red palm oil, rice bran oil, annatto, and a range of nuts and seeds. In contrast to synthetic E, tocotrienols offer powerful antioxidant benefits without dangerously accumulating in the body. If your daily diet is already rich in nuts, seeds, plant-based oils, and healthy fats, your body is likely already getting the vitamin E it requires in a natural and safe manner. In that scenario, supplements may be entirely redundant, or should at least be taken with extreme caution and only in modest amounts. When you're unsure, examine the source. Opt for natural forms over synthetic ones. Prioritize balance over massive doses. And always be wary of any supplement that makes extravagant promises, because in the grand scheme of things, your legs, your nerves, and your independence are far too valuable to risk. Let's now shift our focus to what is perhaps the most overlooked danger to leg strength of them all. It's a vitamin your body requires in minuscule quantities, but when taken in excess, it can wreak havoc on the very nerves that govern how your legs move and feel. It is time we had a serious talk about vitamin B6. It often begins almost imperceptibly. A faint pins and needles sensation in your feet, a curious lack of feeling in your toes, perhaps even a burning feeling or a persistent tingling that just won't subside. Most men will just dismiss it, blaming poor circulation or simply getting older. But what if I told you that one of the most prevalent vitamins, often consumed in doses far exceeding what the body needs, could be covertly destroying your nerves? That is the story of vitamin B6. It is crucial, but only in small quantities. Your body requires it for brain function, the creation of neurotransmitters, and the metabolism of protein. But when B6 is taken in excessive amounts, as it so often is, it can morph into a slow, insidious threat to your legs, your balance, and your mobility. Here's why this is more critical now than ever before. Vitamin B6 is water-soluble, which lulls many people into a false sense of security. We are conditioned to believe that any water-soluble nutrient will simply be flushed from our system if we take too much. While this is true for some vitamins, B6 is an exception. When ingested in high doses over extended periods, it can accumulate in your body and damage your peripheral nerves, the very nerves that allow you to feel the ground beneath your feet, control your stride, and maintain your balance. And the most sinister part, you don't reach a state of toxicity in a single day. Most people get there gradually, completely by accident. A multivitamin here, a B complex there, an energy drink, a mood-enhancing supplement. Each of these might contain 50, 100, or even 500 milligrams of B6, when all your body truly needs per day is about 1.5 to 1.7 milligrams after the age of 50. The symptoms start to manifest. Tingling, numbness, weakness, difficulty walking. In some instances, the nerve damage becomes so severe that even after stopping the supplements, the symptoms linger indefinitely. Can you imagine losing the ability to clearly feel your own feet? Imagine trying to keep your balance when the signals from your legs are fuzzy, delayed, or completely distorted. That is the grim reality for many seniors who have unknowingly been overdosing on vitamin B6 for years. Recent neurological research has solidified the connection between high-dose B6 and sensory neuropathy, a condition that assaults the nerve endings, typically starting in the feet and progressing upwards. What is particularly alarming is that most people never make the connection to their vitamins. They travel from one doctor to another, desperate for answers, all while continuing to take the very supplement that is causing their legs to fail. This is not to say that B6 is the villain. It means that balance is paramount. You need B6, but you need it in the appropriate amount, sourced from food first and supplements only when absolutely necessary. Foods like bananas, salmon, potatoes, and chickpeas offer gentle, consistent amounts that your body can utilize with ease. If supplementation is unavoidable, experts advise staying within a range of 10 to 20 milligrams per day, unless your doctor has prescribed a different dose for a specific medical condition. And here's another point that is frequently missed. Many older men take folic acid, or vitamin B9, for heart health or to support cellular function. But if you are deficient in vitamin B12, folic acid can actually conceal that deficiency in blood work, and a hidden B12 deficiency can be just as destructive to your nervous system as an excessive B6. Especially after age 60, your body's capacity to absorb B12 declines sharply. That is why it is so crucial to ensure you are getting B12 in a form your body can readily use, like methylcobalamin or adenosylcobalamin, rather than allowing your levels to silently plummet. So, there we have it. You have now learned how 5 very common vitamins, trusted by millions, can, under the wrong circumstances, erode your strength, your stability, and your freedom. But this is not a narrative of fear. It is a summons to awareness. Because just as these vitamins can inflict damage when misused, They can also foster vitality when utilized correctly. And now that you are aware of what to watch out for, it's time to shift our perspective to what you can do, starting today, naturally and safely, to rebuild your strength and safeguard your legs for all the years to come. Let's transition into that right now. Now that we have exposed the dangers, let's redirect our energy towards something far more empowering. What you can actively do to keep your legs powerful, your gait steady, and your independence firmly in your grasp. Because regardless of the confusion surrounding supplements, your body possesses a phenomenal capacity to heal, recover, and rebuild, especially when it's given the right resources. The first and most fundamental principle is this: physical activity isn't a suggestion, it's a necessity. That old adage, use it or lose it, isn't just a clever saying, it's grounded in hard biological fact. Your muscles have a direct and immediate response to the demands you place on them. And even gentle, consistent activity can preserve strength and stave off decline. You don't need a fancy gym membership or a punishing exercise regimen. You simply need to move with purpose, taking a brief walk after breakfast, rising from a chair and sitting back down several times with deliberate control, ascending a few stairs at your own rhythm. These simple acts, when performed daily, sustain muscle tone, promote healthy circulation, and reinforce the vital connection between your brain and your body. The more your body feels that you trust it to move, the more fiercely it will protect that capability. At the same time, you must pay close attention to your food. Your muscles are constructed and repaired using the nutrients you give them. And not all calories are created equal. As we get older, our tolerance for large quantities of carbohydrates and sugars becomes increasingly delicate. Diets laden with bread, pasta, sweets, and processed foods can ignite inflammation, break down muscle fibers, and deplete your energy far more quickly than you might imagine. That is why making conscious food choices is more important than ever. Concentrate on meals that make you feel energized and light, not sluggish and bloated. Seek out natural sources of protein, a rainbow of vegetables, and healthy fats that nourish you without overwhelming your system. With every meal, you are either fueling your mobility or feeding your weakness. Make your choices wisely, not perfectly, but wisely. Sunlight also has a surprisingly significant role to play in this equation. Just 15 to 30 minutes of natural sunlight a few times a week can stimulate vitamin D production in a way that no pill can ever match. And beyond the pure biology, spending time outdoors gently elevates your mood, regulates your sleep cycle, and even balances your hormones, all of which are intimately linked to your strength and your body's healing processes. If you can merge movement with time and the sun, like a walk through a garden or along a quiet street, you amplify the benefits with no additional effort. Then we have magnesium, which is often forgotten but profoundly essential. It facilitates the contraction and relaxation of your muscles, supports healthy nerve impulses, and plays a silent but critical role in your daily energy production. Most older men are mildly deficient in it and have no idea. You can restore this balance by incorporating more magnesium-rich foods into your diet, such as pumpkin seeds, spinach, and almonds. Or, if necessary, you can supplement gently with magnesium glycinate or magnesium malate, which are kind to the digestive system and are absorbed well by older bodies. And never underestimate the power of the fundamentals: sleep, hydration, and high-quality protein. Sleep is the time when your body conducts its repairs. Hydration ensures your blood flows freely and your muscles remain supple. Protein supplies the raw materials your legs need to rebuild, especially after physical activity. These are not indulgences. They are the very cornerstones of strength in your 60s, 70s, and beyond. Lastly, make time to truly listen to your body. Aches aren't a sign of failure. Exhaustion isn't a character flaw. These are signals, requests for better care, more intelligent choices, or simply a moment to pause and recalibrate. When you learn to meet these messages with patience instead of frustration, your body will repay you with incredible resilience. Remember, reclaiming the strength in your legs is not about achieving overnight miracles. It's about consistent, deliberate action. It's about understanding that every step you take, every meal you eat, every moment you spend in motion, it all counts, and it all contributes to the whole. In the next and final segment, we will reflect on why your legs are so much more than just muscles and bones. They represent your connection to freedom, to dignity, and to the rich life you have yet to experience. Your legs, my friend, are far more than just the limbs that get you from one room to the next. They are the very bedrock of your independence, the silent power behind every trip to the grocery store, every stroll through the park, every visit to the home of someone you love. And yet, their decline is rarely a sudden event. It is a slow, creeping process, until one day you find yourself hesitating before you stand, avoiding the staircase, or feeling a profound uncertainty with every single step. But here's the profound truth that most people overlook. It is never too late to start safeguarding that freedom. Not by pursuing miracle potions or hollow gimmicks, but by attuning yourself to your body, understanding the nutrients it genuinely requires, and making small, conscious decisions every day that foster long-term strength. You don't need to be flawless. You simply need to be intentional. You are now armed with the knowledge that not all supplements are benign. You grasp that even a good thing, like vitamin D, calcium, or B6, can have devastating effects if it isn't properly balanced. And perhaps most critically, you now recognize that food, movement, sunshine, and rest are still the most potent tools at your disposal. As you move through your days, I hope you will carry this understanding with you, not as a weight, but as a quiet wellspring of confidence. With every choice you make, from the meals you cook to the moments you take to stretch, to walk, or to simply rest, you are sending a powerful message to your body that it is still deserving of care, still capable of improvement, and still prepared for the journey that lies ahead. You are not on this path alone. Millions of older men are rediscovering how to reclaim their health, one deliberate step at a time. And if this has been helpful to you, if it has provided you with clarity, reassurance, or even a single useful piece of advice, I encourage you to share it with someone you care about, a friend, a neighbor, a family member. The fortitude we gain when we support each other will always surpass what we can achieve on our own. And if you wish to continue learning, growing, and protecting your health with guidance you can depend on, please feel free to subscribe to this channel. We are here for you, offering straightforward, science-based insights created specifically for seniors who are determined to remain active, independent, and, well, take care of your legs. Take care of yourself, because every step you preserve is a piece of life you get to continue living on your own terms. I'll see you in the next one.